Heather Gay is the most dangerous housewife that's on television.
We're not sure what happened last night, but we know things got a little rough.
What do you mean?
Well, I think we all know what happened. I just think we don't want to talk about it.
The most dangerous housewife on television.
Well, I think Heather can be snaky. So snaky behavior is telling Angie to do something and saying, it'll be funny, just say it.
I thought it was
That's
funny.
snaky.
The most dangerous housewife on television.
She had asked me to do some other things on the phone that I chose not to do, that she should do on her own if she wants to do them. And I think she got mad I wouldn't. And so this, again, more punishment.
The most dangerous housewife on television.
Welcome back to Celebrity News Addict. Today, we're breaking down the explosive controversy surrounding Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and why longtime fan favourite Heather Gay is being called the most dangerous housewife on television by Bravo producers. With allegations ranging from conspiring with Monica Garcia to leak information through the Reality Von Tease account, to lying about her infamous black eye in a way that reportedly triggered internal scrutiny and legal threats, this time it's not just fellow housewives of Salt Lake City speaking out. So in this video, we'll be getting into it all, including the black eye cover-up that led to producers being investigated and threats of a defamation lawsuit, accusations from cast members and friends of who say there's a pattern of manipulation and punishment, the cease and desist tied to Reality Von Tease, and leaked receipts that allegedly connect Heather to the account, and why people behind the scenes say this all goes far beyond normal reality TV drama. Plus, we'll be diving into the growing substance abuse controversy surrounding the cast, including claims from multiple housewives that one of them was hospitalized for alcohol poisoning on the cast trip this season and used control tactics to ensure the footage was never aired, along with accusations from Bravo veterans like Tamra Judge that cast members may have been speaking in code during filming to hide what was really going on. As always, we're breaking down the receipts, timelines, and contradictions to answer one central question. Is Heather Gay abusing her influence behind the scenes? Or is she a misunderstood cast member who keeps getting caught in the fallout of other people's chaos? From legal threats to leaked messages, black eyes to alleged cover-ups, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is once again pushing the line between drama and damage. And, as always, there's a lot to cover. So, let's get straight into it. In this video, we're telling the story backwards, starting with the newest accusations and retracing the steps that led us to this point. Because when you follow the trail of scandals, receipts, legal cases, and shifting explanations, the contradictions around Heather Gay become harder to ignore. So, let's start with the breaking headline that has everyone talking. Real Housewives producer Carlos King has gone on record to accuse Heather Gay of being the most dangerous housewife on Bravo. On an episode of his podcast, Reality with the King, which aired on January 14th, Carlos, who has been a producer on both The Real Housewives of Atlanta and The Real Housewives of New Jersey, spoke with Monica Garcia about all the latest Real Housewives of Salt Lake City drama and completely dragged Heather. When speaking with Monica about Lisa calling Heather a snaky friend at the reunion, Carlos stated that he believes, quote, Heather is a friend to no one, adding, I think Heather is only loyal to Heather. He followed this up by calling Heather dangerous multiple times, stating, I've said it since 3 seasons ago and I'll say it again. Heather Gay is the most dangerous housewife that's on television. When she said production could have given her the black eye, that was the day I said, there's nothing I have for you anymore. He continued to explain that producers sacrificed time with their families and put their lives on hold to go to different states and film the housewives. So Heather throwing out accusations against them is really dangerous to their livelihoods. Let's take a look.
In this reunion, Heather said that Lisa is a risky friend, and Lisa says that Heather is a snaky friend. First of all, I don't think Heather is a friend to no one. I think Heather's only loyal to Heather. No, I've said it since the season ago, and I'll say it again. Heather Gay is the most dangerous housewife that's on television. When she said production could have given her the black eye, I've always said that was the day I said, there's nothing I have for you anymore.
Nope.
As a producer, as somebody who grew up in this business from PA to where I am now, we're sacrificing our livelihood, leaving our families to go to the state that we don't live in. So when she made that comment, I said, oh, I know who you are. And she has proven every season that I'm right.
So that's the headline-breaking accusation. But why has this held so much weight and stirred up so much controversy among the Bravoverse? Well, to start with, this accusation came only 2 days after Meredith had made similar statements on 2 Teas in a Pod with Tamra Judge and Teddy Mellencamp. In the podcast episode, which aired on January 12th, Meredith claimed that, quote, Heather lied about a black eye for years, and she got a lot of people in a lot of trouble because of it. Meredith also went on to back up recent claims about Heather that she's the puppet master and manipulator of the group, stating, quote, I think she didn't like that I'm not doing what she says, just like she didn't like it that I wouldn't gang up on Lisa. Let's take a look.
Well, I think it's wild because, Heather's whole bone to pick with me this season was that I said that she lied when we know she lied about a black eye for years. And a lot of people were, looked into because of it. She got a lot of people in a lot of trouble because of it. And I was very much trying to give Heather the benefit of the doubt. I was not 100% sure what Heather was saying because we had talked on the phone and she did seem to be supportive of me when we spoke. And then I think she didn't like that I'm not doing what she says, just like she didn't like it that I wouldn't gang up on Lisa. She had asked me to do some other things on the phone that I chose not to do, that she should do on her own if she wants to do them. And I think she got mad I wouldn't. And so this, again, more punishment.
Meredith's statements on 2 Teas in a Pod seem to support all of the allegations that have been made against Heather over the last few years, especially by Monica. As you'll all remember, Heather exposed Monica in season 4 as being the owner of the troll account Reality Von Tease, which was leaking and bullying the women online. But now Monica is speaking out and making even more shocking claims against Heather, which suggest there might be some truth to Carlos King's dangerous accusations. In a post to her Instagram on January 13th, in response to Meredith's appearance on 2 Teas in a Pod, Monica shared that Heather was the one who asked her to do her dirty work by sharing information anonymously online to the Reality Von Tease account. Monica stated that Heather wanted her to publish the information, and when she refused, Heather, quote, punished her by exposing her identity as Reality Von Tease, and that this is exactly what she's doing to Meredith this season. In her post, Monica claimed that Heather recruited the other housewives in season 6 to target Meredith, as she was punishing her for not doing what she's asked, stating that history is repeating itself and Heather is rallying her castmates to do her dirty work once again. As proof of this, Monica read messages from her burn book, which she alleges were from the Reality Von Tease group chat. In the now deleted Instagram post, Monica said, quote, what Meredith just said, keep that in mind. I'm going to read you guys something from the burn book. I'm not going to be mentioning specific names because I don't want to get into that, but this is from the Reality Von Tease group chat. She then read the alleged messages. Monica began, quote, this is me. My message. I'm not going to be the one doing everyone's dirty work. Just like Heather can do it herself, so can you from here on out, if you want things out. According to Monica, her Reality Von Tease co-creator responded, Heather told me Jen's already showed her a bunch of conversations between you three when Heather was trying to make a point. She knows you've talked shit. She knows all of this already. I get it, but I know that people talk shit and talk shit. It doesn't diminish where we are now and the PTSD we all have from her. So post it or don't post it. That's not the point. The point is that you have allowed so many things to be posted that I specifically said, please do not post that. And it was posted every single time. At the end of the day, you said what you said. They said what they said. I don't understand the big deal. It's not about doing Heather's dirty work. Though the response is somewhat cryptic, Monica's point was that Heather herself was allegedly involved with Reality Von Tease and submitting stories to the account that she wanted to be leaked online, knowing Monica and her hairdresser friend Tanisha were behind it and would post the dirt she sent into them. Monica went on to explain, quote, This conversation is because Heather ran to someone and asked them to have us post receipts on her behalf on Von Tease. I respond and say, I don't feel comfortable sharing that receipt on behalf of Von Tease. If Heather wants to post it herself or have someone else post it, that's fine. I just don't want to get into it with name, Heather, and Jen. They can fight amongst themselves with the receipt, and Heather can ask Jen, what the F is this bullshit? She added, quote, so this was me saying no. I'm not doing Heather's dirty work. Clarifying, Heather came to us, wanted us to post receipts on Von Tease on her behalf so that she could then run to Jen and say, I just saw this on Von Tease, and what is this? Monica went on to state that when she refused to post these receipts for Heather, she was punished, as Heather then revealed that Monica was behind the Reality Von Tease account in the epic season 4 finale, and that this is exactly what happened to Meredith this season with the tirade of substance abuse allegations. As the cherry on top, Monica captioned this post, quote, with your fake phone call in Bermuda and your fake performative outrage, your hatred towards me is based on me refusing to do your dirty work and telling you no, just like you're punishing Meredith for also telling you no. Now, it's important to clarify that all of Monica's messages and evidence is coming straight from her, so there's no telling the legitimacy of these messages. Anyway, in response to her post, many fans were outraged, with one commenting, quote, 3 years later and now she has these texts? If she had those text messages, she would have leaked them the second she could have. While another commented, absolutely no one believes anything Monica has to say. However, others were firmly on Monica's side, stating they believe her and want Heather off the show. One fan said, quote, I'd like to see Heather gone and Monica get her snowflake back. Heather brings nothing but self-producing BS. One piece of evidence that supports Monica's claim that Heather knew she was behind the Von Tease account and was conspiring with her or manipulating her to post rumors about the other women is a cease and desist from Jen dated March 2021, which is years before the season 4 finale was filmed. In January 2024, as the season 4 reunion aired, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Dana Wilkie shared a screenshot of the document to her Instagram, revealing that Jen had sent Monica a cease and desist back in 2021 with regards to the Reality Von Tease account. The document was dated March 5th, 2021, and was addressed to Koa Johnson, Savannah Gonzalez, and Monica Fowler, the name Monica was known by pre-RHOSLC. It read, quote, cease and desist demand. Dear Mr. Johnson, Miss Gonzalez, and Miss Fowler, this firm represents Sharif and Jennifer Shaw with respect to the matters that follow. I have been informed that within the past several days, each of you has been involved in posting and likely acted in concert with each other to post certain content about the Shahs online, including on Instagram. This includes, but is not limited to, content posted on the Instagram account Reality Von Tease 2, and also may include the Instagram account Shah Shepherd, both of which are public accounts. It continues, the content that you have posted includes surreptitiously recorded and illegally obtained video and audio recordings of Mr. and Mrs. Shah. I am advised that this video and audio was unlawfully acquired from the Shah's home security system, to which none of you had authorized access for the purpose of obtaining, downloading, or further disseminating any audio or video recordings. I am also advised that additional posts on the previously identified accounts, including comments from one or more of you, contain further false and defamatory comments regarding Ms. Shah. The screenshot shared concludes, you are hereby on notice that the content you have posted and conspired to post regarding the Shahs has been illegally obtained. Fans were quick to jump on this as proof that Heather and even the whole cast may have known years before the big reveal in Bermuda that Monica and Heather's hairdresser Tanisha were behind the account. However, if we rewind back to season 4 of Salt Lake City, when the news came out, Heather stated that Monica's lies started to unravel when Heather found 3 different Monicas with accounts at Beauty Lab, one of them being Monica Fowler, who hadn't paid her bills. Maybe Jen had shared the information that Monica Fowler had the account, but when the Housewives met Monica Garcia, they never put 2 and 2 together. Seems like Bravo definitely didn't.
And then right before we left for Bermuda, things started to get really weird. It started when I went to Beauty Lab to get a gift card for Monica and discovered that we had 3 Monicas with 3 different last names with the same birthday. So I immediately called Dre, and she discovered that one of those Monicas had never paid her bills and owed Beauty Lab a lot of money. But then when all of this started to go down with the weird messages and DMs between Meredith and Monica, nothing was making sense. Knowing how well Tanisha knows Monica, I called her, and she had a crisis of conscience and came clean.
Before we move on to the next scandal and allegations surrounding Heather, I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Was Heather involved in feeding Reality Von Tease stories, or is Monica making all of this up for more airtime? Comment below and let me know who you believe. Anyway, the next conspiracy that's feeding rumours about Heather's dangerous ability to lie is the famous black eye incident. Let's start with how it happened. So, back in early 2022, the cast were on a trip to San Diego, where, after a night of heavy drinking and a lot of explosive arguments, Heather woke up with a bulging black eye. Heather initially played coy, calling Jen and Meredith to her room, where she took off her sunglasses and pretended she had no idea what had happened. She was also caught on camera asking Jen to help her come up with a story, claiming she didn't want to get anybody in trouble. The rest of the housewives were left confused throughout the remainder of the season, as Heather repeatedly went back and forth between saying she didn't know how she got the black eye, and then moments later claiming she knew how she got it but wasn't willing to say, before changing her story again to say she knew that all the other women were aware how she got it and was waiting for someone to confess. The mystery persisted throughout the season, and it was revealed in the season 3 reunion that production and all of the other housewives were investigated to try to find out who had assaulted Heather. When there was no explanation, the investigations were dropped, but not without serious consequences that threatened the livelihoods and careers of a lot of people involved in the show. Speaking on the black eye at the reunion, Heather stated that she got blackout drunk and was embarrassed to admit that she had no idea how she got it, claiming it was her Mormon guilt that prevented her from confessing to being blackout drunk earlier in the season. Everyone thought that this was the end of it, and the mystery would never be answered. But the storyline reared its head again at the end of season 4, when, in yet another explosive cast trip to Bermuda, Heather revealed that Monica was Reality Von Tease, and claimed that she'd had enough of covering for shady friends, stating she'd done it for Jen for years because she was afraid of her, but now she'd had enough. She wasn't going to cover for Monica.
I felt like I had to lie to protect her. I did whatever it took. I went on book tour and defended her and took for the fact that she gave me a black eye. What?
Wow.
In response to this revelation, Jen, while locked up at Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas for her involvement in a telemarketing fraud scheme, took to Instagram to deny Heather's accusations. In a post to her Instagram story, Jen wrote, "Bravo, if I punched Heather in her eye, you guys would have footage to prove it. It's clear the show can't live without me since I was brought up at the beginning, middle, and end of season 4. Andy is still butthurt that I turned down his one-to-one interview. Why would you sit down with someone who gave another cast member a black eye? Next story." Speaking on Jen's Instagram post on his radio show a couple of days later, Andy said, quote, "I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but if we had footage, don't you think we would have aired it?" Andy then pointed out that just because there isn't footage of the alleged altercation doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but if we had footage, don't you think we would have aired it? Do you think we wouldn't have said, Heather saying, "I don't know how I got the black eye"? And then don't you think we would have cut to the footage and with a chyron that said 4 hours earlier, pop?
But this drama still wasn't over, as in the season 4 reunion, Andy revisited the topic of the black eye, questioning Heather about how she received it. This time, she claimed she knew it was Jen all along, but she didn't know how Jen had done it. She also went on to make a tearful apology to the other housewives and production for the lies and speculation she allowed to be perpetuated by hiding the truth. Heather admitted that she was fearful of Jen and wanted to protect her, stating she probably still wouldn't have come forward if Jen wasn't in prison. Bravo also shared unseen footage of a conversation between Heather and Jen discussing the aftermath of the punch, which, at the time, Heather had told them was about something else. Let's take a look.
Tell us how it happened.
I mean, honestly, it was a lot of drinking. And the next morning, I woke up with a black eye. I knew I'd gotten it from Jen. I didn't know how, but I knew I'd gotten it from Jen. She was the first person I texted. She came in the room. She said, "Did I give that to you?" And I said, "Don't worry, I'll cover."
Why was your inclination, I'm going to cover for her?
I don't know. I was scared of her, I think. Let me just start by saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to you guys. I'm sorry to the network. I'm sorry to the audience. I didn't know how to navigate it myself. I knew that it was becoming bigger and more than I could handle.
Speaking on why Heather may have kept this secret for so long, trial lawyer and co-host of the Bravo Docket podcast, Angela Agnotti, theorized that Heather was trying to protect Jen from any further legal repercussions. She stated, quote, "When you're out on bond, especially on federal charges, a part of your bond conditions is you can't commit additional crimes. So, if she had caused bodily injury to someone, that could potentially be a big problem for her in her pre-trial hearings. They could say, well, this person is out acting erratically, drinking, and hitting people. We think her bond should be revoked." According to Angela, the black eye allegation could also have hurt Jen during sentencing, even after she changed her plea. Angela said, quote, "They could also try to use the fact that she committed battery while she was pending a federal criminal trial to argue for an upward departure in the sentencing guidelines, saying she can't even behave herself when she's out being filmed. So it could have caused a lot of problems for her, and I do think that Heather really does care about Coach Shah and Jen's children, and that would be a bad thing for it to come out." So that's one theory surrounding why Heather lied for so long. But towards the end of the season 4 reunion, Monica claimed that she had also been subject to violent acts by Jen Shah, making it sound as though she had allegedly physically hurt both of them and that this was a repeating cycle of abuse. And this is what Heather may have been fearful of. Here's a quick reminder.
I'm talking about physical abuse from Jen Shah.
Okay, yes.
Heather can hate me all she wants, that's fine. But you could never deny that she and I went through that same exact trauma. I went about it a different way. She kept it all in. I blurted it all out.
Adding to these suspicions, friend of the Housewives Dana, who was also on the trip in San Diego season 4, jumped on an Instagram Live with Monica on January 3rd, 2024, where she alleged that there were a lot of physical things happening the night that Heather got the black eye, and that they all assumed Jen had done it.
The T. It says, Dana was there. Did Jen give Heather the black eye?
To be honest, we didn't see it, but there was a lot of physical things happening that night. They were drunk, they were really rowdy, but I think most of us knew that it came from Jen.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think most of the girls knew, but nobody wanted to say anything because we didn't see it. But I think a lot of us knew.
Now, once again, I need to be clear. There's no evidence of this ongoing physical abuse or that the black eye was caused by Jen. But if these accusations are true, this flips everything on its head in my eyes, making Heather less of the dangerous manipulator and more of the victim who was too scared to come forward for fear of retaliation. What do you guys think? Anyway, this revelation came with yet more legal drama from Jen. On January 4th, 2024, after the season finale aired and a preview of the reunion was revealed, a representative for Jen Shah told Page 6 that Jen had, quote, caught wind of the reunion preview and is most likely going to seek legal action based on the wording used. The rep stated, quote, "If in the final cut of the 3-part RHOSLC reunion, Heather makes any direct reference to Jen Shah giving her the black eye, legal action will be taken by the Shah family against Andy Cohen, NBC Universal, Bravo, Shed Media, and Heather for slander and defamation." Shah's rep also claimed that the network used an out-of-context clip to suggest that Shah was the culprit behind her black eye, referring to the unseen footage of the conversation between Heather and Jen the morning after. The rep concluded their statement by saying that the network had, quote, "conducted a full investigation after Heather was injured, but quickly closed it after they found no record of any wrongdoing on behalf of the ladies or Shah." However, after this bold threat, no lawsuit was actually filed. So, both of these scenarios have, for some, built a picture of Heather Gay as dangerous and a master manipulator, using others and harboring information so that she can expose it at the opportune time and punish people if they don't do as she says. While for others, they show Heather to be the victim of physical abuse and vicious cyberbullying. But there's one more piece to this puzzle which paints the picture that Heather may not be as innocent as she seems. Just a couple of weeks ago, on January 2nd, 2026, Monica shared a post on Instagram where she called out an unnamed housewife for their heavy drinking, claiming that on the cast trip, one of the women was allegedly hospitalized and had to have their stomach pumped due to alcohol poisoning, but they had demanded that footage be cut. Monica's post showed her dancing with the following text overlaid. "When everyone wants to accuse Meredith of being an alcoholic, but she wasn't the one that was taken away in an ambulance to the ER for alcohol poisoning, and demanded the footage never be shown and cast stay locked in their rooms while she got wheeled away to get her stomach pumped. Allegedly." She captioned this post, "You guys stay believing the wrong ones. It's always the one projecting the most. And that's on people thinking I can't keep RHOSLC out my damn mouth. I haven't said shit, trust. But it's a new year. Let's see what happens. Hashtag Team Marks, hashtag RHOSLC, hashtag not Whitney." These hashtags in defense of Meredith and Whitney immediately led fans to believe that Heather was the housewife being implicated here. One person wrote, "Heather is gonna send a cease and desist because her ego won't let this fly, but she won't realise that confirms the guilt." While another asked, "So wait, if the hashtag is not Whitney, does that mean it's Heather?" Monica seemed to confirm she was speaking about Heather when she responded to fans in the comments. One fan wrote, "Sounds like Heather to me," to which Monica responded with 3 laughing crying emojis. While another said, "Just because Heather got drunk on camera doesn't mean Meredith doesn't have her own problems." Monica responded to this one with, "Glass houses is all I'm saying." If Monica's allegations are true and are in fact against Heather, this once again builds more of a picture about the control Heather has, not only over the housewives, who she allegedly convinced to target Meredith this season, but also over production, who allegedly ensured all housewives were locked in their rooms and no footage of this incident, if it exists, was ever aired. Then, in yet another reel posted to her Instagram on January 7th, Monica filmed herself dancing in the car with the text, "We ready to talk about how worried you were that people would possibly find your coke stash in your suitcase at BravoCon? Or are we still playing it like others have the substance abuse problems? It's not about the coke, it's about the hypocrisy." She captioned this reel, quote, "Damn, Meredith really needed me at that dinner. Would have played out much differently," referring to the dinner where Whitney expressed concern over Meredith's behaviour, which she alleged reminded her of her alcoholic and drug addict father. And now we've come full circle, as just a few days after Monica's Instagram posts, on January 12th, Meredith appeared on 2 Teas in a Pod to address these accusations against her, which is where we started today's video. On this podcast, as well as talking about Heather's black eye situation and her puppet master behaviour and punishments, Meredith also addressed Monica's latest Instagram posts, confirming that Monica was correct. One of the women on the show had been hospitalised with alcohol poisoning during the cast trip.
Now, recently, Monica Garcia came to your rescue, basically saying you're not the one with a drinking problem. It's somebody else on the cast that was taken to the hospital, that was very vocal about, didn't want production to air it or talk about it. Is there truth to that?
Somebody did go to the hospital. That is correct. I can't speak to whether a stomach was pumped or not because I have no idea on that part. But yes, somebody was taken to the hospital from drinking. I do find it very interesting that is completely something that we don't see or talk about yet. These women can make these accusations on me all season long. I mean, it's crazy to me, but c'est la vie.
And a lot of the Bravoverse seem to be on Meredith's side with this one, allying against Heather. In fact, on an earlier episode of Two Teas in a Pod, which aired on December 10th, Tamara was joined by Dolores Catania from RHONJ, where they discussed Heather's black eye and substance abuse allegations and revealed some suspicions of their own that they have about code words Heather and Whitney were potentially using on the show. Let's take a look.
You know the scene before they go to dinner or they go out and it's Whitney and Heather and she's like, you want to go get some water? And she's like, I don't think we have time for water. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Don't you have bottles of water in your room? So it was, I'm going to say like they were talking about going to get a drink, but she called it water. And they were going to shower together. Was it, we don't have time to get water because we have to shower? I was so confused on that scene. And the fact that they actually left it in the show makes me think, are we going to hear about more of this?
So after laying all of this out, the leaked messages, the Reality Von Tease allegations, the black eye cover-up, the unanswered questions, and now even a former producer publicly calling Heather Gay the most dangerous housewife on Bravo, we're left with one unavoidable question. Is Heather the villain or the victim? Because what's striking here isn't just one accusation, it's how often the same themes come up. Multiple cast members have independently described situations where they say requests were made off camera, alliances were expected, and when someone didn't comply, relationships shifted. Meredith used the word punishment. Monica claims she experienced the same thing. And Carlos King, speaking from a production standpoint, said Heather threatened real people's livelihoods when she publicly suggested production could have been involved in her black eye, knowing they weren't. But at the same time, Heather herself has acknowledged that she lied, that she stayed silent, and that fear played a role in how the black eye story unfolded. She said she was trying to protect someone else and herself, and that once the lie started, it snowballed beyond her control. And that's where this story becomes complicated, because those two versions don't fully cancel each other out. It is possible that Heather made poor choices under pressure and that those choices still caused serious fallout for others. It's also possible that what some people view as manipulation was, in reality, damage control that failed spectacularly. But what do you guys think? Do you believe the producer who says Heather is the most dangerous housewife on Bravo? Do you believe the women who say they were pressured into conspiring against each other or punished if they didn't? Or do you believe Heather's explanation, that she's reacting to chaos, not creating it? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hype, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into reality TV's messiest stories. Thanks for watching.